Good afternoon, Georgia State fans. I'm Justin Dewitt. Welcome to another episode of Primetime Sportz. Earlier this week, both basketball teams kicked off their regular seasons. The men, they opened up against East Tennessee State, a very good NCAA tournament team. The win was capped off by this play. Even without being full strength, the Panthers won 74-68. Senior guard Devin Mitchell didn't play due to an injury that he suffered from in Georgia State's scrimmage, but the Panthers, they were led by senior guard Jeff Thomas. He would finish the game leading both teams with 26 points and 4 blocks. And oh yeah, reigning Sun Belt Player of the Year DeMarcus Simons, he added a quiet 21 points to go along with 5 rebounds on the game. The men will travel halfway across the country to face Montana, another NCAA tournament team, Friday night at 9 p.m. As for the women, their opening night was a step in the right direction as well. Here's what new head coach Gene Hill had to say about his first game.
Coach Gene Hill and the Panthers of Georgia State closed out their first home game win in their season opener.
You know, we're excited. We're excited about the opportunity to come out and compete finally against someone. We came out and I think we really started off well, and then we hit a little rough patch. But the number one thing there is that we didn't lose our head. We continued to compete, and we got the victory. Obviously, still 16 turnovers, too many for me. I think they had 11 offensive rebounds. We got to make sure we do a better job of keeping people off the offensive rebounds. I think those are 2 areas that we can control there. And if we could do those things there, I think everything else will start falling in place.
The Lady Panthers will hit the road this weekend, and their next home game will be December 2nd versus Georgia Tech. But right now, our reporter Gawan Bay stands by with another Lady Panther being recognized by the Sun Belt for her outstanding play. And afterwards, we'll be joined by football analyst Tyrik Wynn to give us some very quick updates.
I'm Gawan Bay, joined by the only Georgia State player on the 2018 Sun Belt All-Tournament team. That is Caitlin Ray. Caitlin, congratulations on your massive achievement being recognized by Sun Belt.
Thank you, thank you. I owe my thanks to all my team as well. They really helped me get to where I am.
So the teams had a really great season, winning streaks going into conference. You being a senior, how was this season for you?
It was really good. I was glad that we got to end on a really high note. We worked really hard these past couple years, building up from a lot of freshmen, and we had a lot of freshmen this year as well, but we still just pulled it out. First, the beginning of the season wasn't too well, and then we just went up and up and up and then made it to the semis.
What is your career highlight here?
My freshman year when we made it to the finals, it was also another long journey in that season, and we kind of just pulled it out and made it all the way to the finals. So that was nice. I also enjoyed clearly this season when we also made it to the semifinals. So really just making it to the tournament, making it so far, those are 2 memories that I'll never forget.
If you're a senior, now you're about to graduate in May. What are your plans going after, graduation?
Well, I plan to apply to several different graduate programs for my Master's of Public Health. And then after that, hopefully work in improving the health of minorities.
Congratulations once again, and I wish you the best for what you have next in the future. Thank you very much, and back to you.
Thanks, Gawan. I am now joined by Tyrik Wynn. Tyrik, thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell us what's going on with this Georgia State football team.
Well, it's not looking good for Georgia State. You take a look at their record, 2-7. It is the same thing every single week. But last week when they played Texas State, I thought they was going to come out with the victory, but unfortunately that didn't happen. The score was 31-40, and they did not come away with the victory. But Georgia State did have 2 quarterbacks out there. They had Aaron Winchester, who had 112 passing yards and 1 touchdown, and Dan Ellington. he was out there too, but he wasn't as elite as he usually is because he had no touchdowns whatsoever. But to preview to tomorrow's game, which might be a pretty good game, they do face Louisiana. And last time these two teams played, Louisiana did come away with the victory, and Louisiana is 3-0 against Georgia State. So we just have to see what happens in that game. But Georgia State keys to success. The defense definitely has to get in the backfield. And offense has to protect Dan Ellington, get Dan Ellington going, Trey Barnett and Penny Hart. You get those three going, you could possibly have a pretty good game. So we'll just see what happens. I'll be flying out to that game tomorrow, and I'll let you know what happens when I get back.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I definitely think if Penny Hart and Trey Barnett and Dan Ellington can get on a roll, they might be able to turn things around and perform a little better, because those are the most consistent players on the team this season anyway. But you can watch the game at 5 p.m. live on ESPN+. We are all out of time with Tyrik, but we will be joined by our volleyball analyst, Jett, to talk about Wednesday's night match. But first, Jasmine Presley brings us views from the aftermath.
On this court, not too long ago, the Lady Panthers just defeated Georgia Southern. The two teams were tied for the #1 position in the rivalry series.
The environment was great. I thought we started the match strong. We had a little dip in the first set, but came out the second, third, and fourth sets playing our game. And that's what we try to do. We want to score points and stop the opponent, and we did a very nice job of executing our game plan.
Senior Crystal Lee shares her thoughts walking into her last home match as a Lady Panther. She has played all 4 years as a starter.
Bittersweet moment. Before the game, the seniors kind of got together. It was like, hey, this is it. It's all out. And so I'm very proud of our team for going out and competing hard. Love and support of this team. How successful I am in the 4 years could not have been done without the coaches and my team. And so a lot of props to just how much my team has been there for me through thick and thin.
The Panthers will be heading back to Statesboro this weekend to finish off this tournament.
I'm now joined by Jett Parker, our volleyball analyst. Jett, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Now, you were at the game on Wednesday. Give me some of your biggest takeaways from that rivalry match.
Definitely the defense.
Yes.
The defense, according to the coaches, have been a huge priority for them this year, and it was shown definitely this game. The blocks and digs, more so than any other game, and leading the charge was freshman libero Lauren Bandera.
Yes.
She recorded a remarkable 23 digs, coming close to tying her career high of 26. A freshman libero recording this caliber of statistics is incredible, and I can't wait to watch her the rest of her years here at GSU. As far as the offense goes, the team is doing much better as well. The biggest surprise, junior Madeline Otts. She continues her dominant performance of the past few games, leading the team in kills with 15. As far as moving the ball goes, senior Sarah Renner had 45 assists, leading the offense to this 3-1 victory over Georgia Southern.
Yeah, Sarah Werner with that 45 assists, she's been playing well all season long.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she's a big key to this team's victory. But what are some things that you noticed in the game that the Panthers can improve on that can separate them?
Errors. I think that's been the worst thing about the team this year is their unforced errors.
Yes.
Over this game, they had 33 errors, both service and attack. That means that over a set was just gifted to Georgia Southern. And if you're trying to make it into conference play, you can't have that.
Yeah, you can't give up that many points and expect to come out with a victory, especially in a game that has stakes so high.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Georgia State will look to sweep Southern for the second year in a row in Statesboro at 6:30 p.m. Thank you for joining us. That will wrap up this week's episode. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook at Prime Sports with a Z. See you next Friday, and have a great weekend.